You know, high-resolution graphics always sounded like a nice idea on Nintendo 64, but I think almost every time you had the option to put graphics in high resolution, it would kill the frame rate even worse. We're playing John Romero's Daikatana for Nintendo 64. I don't really know why.
Sayonara.
Yeah, let's put on those high-resolution graphics. Daikatana is legendary. As, like, one of the biggest messes and examples of creator arrogance, maybe, from John Romero. Coming off the likes of Doom, Doom 2, and Quake, leaves id to form his own company, Ion Storm, which, after numerous delays, eventually puts out Daikatana. So the PC version is kind of legendary as being a bad game. The Nintendo 64 version is supposed to be worse. Is this a screenshot, or is it actually going to have FMVs? That's actually kind of interesting for Nintendo 64. With the frame rate these are running at, this could actually just be a sequence of images just being played quickly, rather than like an actual FMV. Like a bunch of pictures that are in a slideshow format that are just being cycled through fairly quickly. So this is our main character. His name is Hero. Took a pause so you could all appreciate that. You might ask, Shaun, if Daikatana is so legendarily bad and the Nintendo 64 version is worse, why do you have the Nintendo 64 version? And my response to that would be, how dare you? How dare you ask me something like that? These cutscenes are all voiced on the PC version, and the voices are probably racist. The guy who voices Ebihara-san is the same guy who voices Lo Wang in Shadow Warrior, doing the same voice as he did for Lo Wang in Shadow Warrior. It's pretty racist. So Daikatana is supposed to be this big epic. It takes place across multiple points in history, multiple times. This huge first-person shooter experience, the likes of which hadn't been seen at the time. When it came out in 2000, it was an interesting idea that was very poorly handled, but first-person shooters had evolved beyond what they were in Quake. I think Daikatana was first announced in 97, or was supposed to be out in 97. Let me look at this. You guys enjoy this slideshow? I should probably have this stuff ready before I start these things. Okay, Iron Storm was founded in 95. When was it set to be released? It was revealed in 97. The infamous poster that everybody remembers. I don't know, I want to say the original release date was supposed to be Christmas 97. And if it had actually come out in Christmas 97, it would have been an impressive undertaking. Oh wait, here we go. It was going to be built on the Quake engine, but then they saw the Quake 2 engine and decided they wanted to do that. That delayed everything immensely. It was supposed to come out in 98. Like, if this idea, if they'd kept this on the Quake engine, it might have worked, but having to redo everything into the Quake 2 engine caused major delays. Delayed from its projected 98 release date. This is still going? Like, if this was a voice cutscene, you might be holding my interest, but you're really not with this slideshow with subs. But yeah, like, okay, say it comes out in 98 and actually works the way it's supposed to, it would have been a big epic. But by 2000, the landscape of first-person shooters had changed. Thief had happened. I think Thief 2, the Metal Age had happened. System Shock 2. Half-Life. And so it wasn't a case of this game pushing boundaries for first-person shooters anymore. It was a case of this game is over-ambitious, and they really didn't bug test it. We're probably not going to get to it in this, but one of the big complaints, I don't even know if the Nintendo 64 version has it, one of the big complaints with Daikatana is the AI companions. The AI companions which are required, are necessary, and oh boy. From the moment of her birth, I trained my daughter Mikiko. She was there in her cot at like 6 weeks, doing the Bruce Lee routine with a pair of nunchucks. But yeah, the companion system. Ugh. A game that came out in 2000 having AI companions as a major focus of the game. If you've ever played any game from like even 5 years after that, after 2000, AI companions were almost always garbage. Like, people complain about Ashley in Resident Evil 4. Ashley is downright fantastic. Especially compared to escort missions that came before her. The companions are so bad that this game was re-released on Steam not long ago. And it's gotten a bunch of fan patches. For some reason, somebody decided to patch this game to put their own time and effort into fixing it. But one of the best things that it does is it gives you the option of turning the companions off because they are so bad. He's hurt? That really wasn't conveyed well. Why is this still going? You see, here's another part of your problem of trying to push this big revolutionary story like this. You know what happened in '98? Metal Gear Solid. Maybe it's because of the way it's presented. Because it's on Nintendo 64, it doesn't have voices. And, like, just reading all of this over this really bad cutscene. But, like... Does that say Corporation? The Mishima Corporation. They spelled corporation wrong multiple times. And this music just really isn't doing it for me. You know what, though? I will give props. Wow, did you not even shut those doors? Oh yeah, no, just leave them. It's fine. You don't have to do your job. I'll give props to... it was Kemco that put this on Nintendo 64. This is ambitious for Nintendo 64. Like, these big cutscenes, so much that came from PC or, like, PlayStation onto Nintendo 64 would have made that a literal slideshow without trying to do anything more. So that's oh my god, why is the screen so small? Oh, it's one of those games. Movement is mapped to the C buttons. And aiming is inverted. There we go, that's better. Ion Blaster. Well, that wasn't good. Ah! So the stuff on the side you can see there, which... kind of surprised that happened already. This game has a weird RPG style system. You kill a certain number of enemies, you gain experience from those kills, and you level up. In the PC version, you choose where you put your levels at. In the Nintendo 64 version, it does it automatically. The aiming on this is really bad. Is that going to be better? It's a little better. It's like, it feels way too fast for the movement. So, like, circle strafing. This isn't doing anything, is it? It's like circle strafing just isn't really working. And another problem we're going to have, if you want to play this further, is on the side there you can see speed will level up. Like, Okay, my weapon is absolute garbage. Does that pause the game? That's bad. It loads up fairly quickly, I guess. Okay, let's see if it pauses the game when I change weapons. It does not. That's bad. It's like, how many weapons does Daikatana have? It has quite a few weapons. Having it like this is not a good idea. And like, you've got to hold the button to change them. I got some bad games as a kid. I'm gonna try punching this thing. I got some bad games as a kid, but like, thank God I never got Daikatana. Nope, it's not doing anything. Guess I'm just running. Nope. Keep moving. Ignore them all. You know what the problem is with ignoring all the enemies in a game like this? You're supposed to be leveling up. Where's the crouch button? Okay, so the D-pad will let me... It has a run toggle? Why is the D-pad even used? Okay, how do I crouch? Oh yeah, I forgot that weapons in Daikatana are likely to hurt you. So that's probably a good idea. Nah, that's not good. I don't know how to crouch. Okay, so there's jump. There's only so many buttons on the Nintendo 64 controller. Is this where this weekend one-off ends? Is there a crouch button in Daikatana? Let me look this up. So R and A to crouch. You have to hold A and press R to crouch. I wonder how much else is mapped to holding A. And the answer is, if it's nothing else, then why isn't A crouch? Okay. Okay, that felt kind of... Oh god, now we're going faster. Like, there were first-person shooters on Nintendo 64 that handled having the analog be your aim fairly well. It basically worked out as a pseudo mouse and keyboard thing. if you go back and play GoldenEye on Nintendo 64, you should play it with this kind of control scheme, where the C buttons are your movement and the analog stick aims for you. It'll be so much more convenient. It also makes it easier to kill people who are playing as Oddjob in multiplayer. But this feels so bad. So it stops everything to tell me that I can use a switch to open a door, which is incredibly obvious. But it won't tell me how to crouch. I don't know what that did. Is that a secret? That's probably a secret. Is it a dead end? Because it looks like an elevator. What's what? Again. Don't tell me how to crouch. Point out incredibly obvious things. It's like, okay, if this game came out before Quake, explaining the concept of an elevator in a 3D game might make sense, because before this you couldn't do elevators properly in those old 2.5D games. Room over room wasn't a thing. But this is after Quake 2 came out. This is after Half-Life came out. An elevator is a pretty obvious thing, and if you think it isn't, mark it better. Don't stop the entire game to say, oh, it's an elevator. Okay, I think I'm getting used to the crappy controls. This is what happens. You play a crappy game long enough and you start getting used to the crappy controls. And like after that, the controls are still crappy. But you start to notice them less until they really mess you up. It's a ghost. Did he just destroy that switch? Something I could have done by shooting it? You're really not creating intrigue here, game. Does this game save to the cartridge, or does it use the controller pack?
Sayonara.
We'll find out, because if it saves to the controller pack, I'm going to be deleting this or something else soon. Castlevania 64 had better cutscenes than this. You know what, I actually like Castlevania 64's cutscenes, they're fine. What's that? It's a green texture. You know, this is actually coming across very much like Metal Gear Solid, when you overhear the guards talking about the DARPA chief being moved. Oh, yeah. If you wish to use the... Okay, I don't want to use a rumble pack. I'd use a rumble pack if it didn't mean that I have to swap them out for a control pack whenever the game I'm playing doesn't save to the cartridge, which is way too often on Nintendo 64. Well, nope, that was a bad idea. Why is this still my only good weapon? Seriously, can I get a better weapon, please? Interactable NPCs? Alright, you know what? Props to that. That's not something you'd see in a shooter like this on the Nintendo 64. Not often. It's worth noting that features like that do not make it a good game. Is that a new weapon? I got the Sidewinder. These all look terrible and I can't tell what they are. Like, is this supposed to be a pistol? Is this a shotgun? That takes 2 shots. It takes 2 bits of ammo per shot. Is it a rocket launcher? It's always a problem you run into with futuristic first-person shooters. Like, especially first-person shooters that are supposed to be futuristic. Way too often, they don't have a good design for the weapons, so it is not really that easy to tell what the weapons are supposed to be. Okay. What do you got? Okay. Nothing in there. There was a dude over here. I just opened the door. You can go. Okay, so they're optional. This is the way I want to go. Is it? Or is it? Oh, no, it's this way. Okay. What's that noise? Oh, this fall damage. That's weak. But yeah, any kind of futuristic game, but especially first-person shooters, really need to have a good way of telling you what the weapon you've got is. Like, what is this weapon in relation to... Yep, it's crushing. I fell through the elevator and it crushed me. Does this send me back to the start of the level? Yeah, that's another Daikatana. They need a good way of telling you what the analog is. Like, is this my pistol weapon? Is this my shotgun weapon? Is this my rocket launcher? Is this my chain gun? That kind of thing. They need a good analog. Like the Sidewinder looks like it's a rocket launcher from the shooting. You know what? I want to see if that thing does splash damage to me. It was just over here. Okay, I'm gonna pick it up. Sidewinder. Okay. It doesn't look like it. Okay, it does do splash damage. How close? I'm guessing the pushback. Okay, that's not too bad. But like, okay, this is a rocket launcher. I could do with some kind of show of that. I'm honestly kind of surprised the game didn't just stop everything to show me that it's a rocket launcher. But that's Daikatana for Nintendo 64. Yeah. Although, if I'm gonna be honest, I've played worse. I definitely played worse. I played worse first-person shooters. Don't go out of your way for it. I'd say don't even bother picking it up. But I've played worse. Although I do want to quickly bring note again, the screen is so much smaller. Like, in-game, the screen is so much smaller than the menu. It's like you're playing this on a CRT and it's like, this is your full screen. It's not taking up the full top anyway, but then it shrinks down. It's like some people put up with that with the console versions of Doom's PC version, I think, had the option of shrinking the screen. But on console, by this point, your games were full screen. If they weren't, they had a reason not to be. It wasn't just a load of black space. Hell, Doom, when you shrunk the screen down, wasn't just a load of black space. It's not the worst game I've ever played. It probably gets worse. We didn't get to the companions. It probably gets worse. I'd say don't play it. Although, one thing worth noting, there was a third version of Daikatana. There's the PC version, which is the original that everybody knows about. There's the Nintendo 64 version, which some people know about and is considered worse. There's also a Game Boy Color version, which is considered the best. And not just the best because the other two are bad, it's considered to be a fairly decent game. Maybe we'll take a look at that at some point. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and I'll catch you on the next weekend one-off.